We're back again.
We are back again. And we want to speak to you today about dating.
Romance.
No, dating. Well, okay, so if you feel that dating is romance, this is what we're going to talk about, because some people feel like it's just testing the waters, working out whether I like you, don't like you. But we want to kind of explore that subject because it seems to be coming up a lot, and we want to just kind of explore it.
Yeah, I think we'll talk a bit more about dating as a Christian, more so, but also talk about a bit of experience previously as dating as a non-Christian.
Yeah.
And the trials and errors and mistakes and the successes that happen with that.
Yeah, I think just the word dating, doesn't it, seems to give this idea, or it's different things for different people. And I think when we've done the courses and things, what we've established is that different people see dating. Some feel that dating is from the minute you spend time with somebody on a one-on-one, you're on a date and you're dating, whereas others see it as a time to just explore.
So you mentioned the course. What course you talking about?
Rooted. You know what course I'm talking about.
Rooted
mentioned
for relationships.
it before. Rooted for relationships.
Oh, that course.
Yeah.
Right.
So
What's
that is obviously. Watch the video. Watch the video.
Right.
You don't know, and you teach it.
I don't know. I just don't know. Supposedly.
No, we're not going to bore you with that again because there's a whole video on that, and I'll put the link up here, so that you can see, you can hear all about that. And obviously we've talked about the books and things like that as well. But I think just on that subject of dating, there's so many questions around it that I guess we take for granted. And I think people coming into that arena, people who are starting today, are not sure. They're not sure what dating means. So let me ask you, what did dating mean for you when you started dating, which based on your previous videos, like 4, maybe 9, and dating as a Christian, what did that mean? When someone says the word dating, what does it mean?
I think when you become a Christian, I think it gets so complicated, or we complicate it as people. I maybe say guys, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I think dating comes with so much more expectation, so much more weight on your shoulders.
The word dating,
just dating in general, it's a minefield kind of thing. From, again, some of the guys that I speak to, there's no real clarity about when you're officially on a date unless it's actually spoken. Then if you speak about it as a guy, and you've spoken about it with a couple of other individuals, women in general, in a church setting, which is can be insular or a small circle of friends, that kind of stuff, you get deemed a player or somebody who's messing around.
Yeah, but doesn't that depend on what you see dating as?
So
that's the point I'm trying to make.
So I would say, as a Christian, coming to a Christian, dating, the instant picture that comes to my mind is going for something to eat.
Having the first time or continuously?
Just dating full stop. The picture that comes to my mind is going for something to eat, having a one-on-one, maybe not coffee, a date is right, we're going on a date.
Yeah, but no. What stage though? Because going for something to eat with me, we've been married for years, and you could say, right, I'm going on a date with my wife.
Yeah.
We're going to a restaurant for something to eat.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about what stage do we say, as a guy, do you start to say, right, we're dating? And is there a difference between dating and going on a date?
Same thing, isn't it?
Is it? That's the question.
Because
I think for women, I don't know if it is a male-female thing. Is it male-female, or is it, individuals see things differently?
I think generationally, I think it's different now. I think the younger generation, and I'm guessing, I think even from 30, even 35 below, I think is something that, again, context. So if it's somebody from church who you're friends with, and you go out and you have something to eat, that's not classed as a date.
Right, so someone from church who you're friends with, of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
It's not classed as a date.
I would say no, from my
But you're going out as friends.
Yes.
But if you like this person,
and
you'd like it to be more than friends, it's still not a date?
I don't think so, no.
Is it a date depending on how it came about? I.e., church finishes, or a meeting, whatever, finishes, do you want to grab something to eat? Yeah, cool, let's go.
Yeah,
that's not a date.
I don't see that as a date, no.
If you say, right, do you want to go for something to eat on Saturday, 8 o'clock? I'll pick you up. So now we're
That's
going
why it's
into
blurred lines. That's why it's blurred
right.
lines,
That's the
because
thing.
If I was to see go out for some, if I was just walking through somewhere,
Yeah.
shopping centre, or went to pick up something to eat, and I saw a couple, two individuals that I know sitting down having something to eat, or even having a coffee, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. You probably can't say, babe, I saw this.
No. Oh. Let's recheck.
all right. Not babe, not gossip. Like,
okay.
Guess who I saw today?
I said, you know what? Yeah, so like bust jokes. Like, yeah, you never guess. Well, but they could be two friends who just happen to be in the same place. And I think that's the challenge. And I think as Christians as well, I think it gets even more murkier or more difficult.
Yeah, because people are always trying to push.
I'm glad I'm married, because that's a headache.
Two
I
people
can't deal
together.
with that. That's stress. And then a lot of the guys will say females, not girls, that females play games. So there's no clarity about when you merge from a friendship, just spending time together, to actually dating. And is it because it's not spoken about? Is it because it's like, I don't want to say, yeah, I like you, we're spending time together, but I don't want to say to you, like, are we boyfriend and girlfriend, or are we dating?
Does anyone say that now?
Good question. I don't know. It's complicated. That's why I'm glad I'm married.
No, that's a cop out. Because although you're married, you're in the marriage ministry, and therefore we need to, people. That's just the kind of questions that people ask us.
So I think,
and so it is. I do believe it's a unique thing. I think it's an individual thing. It depends on the mindset of the person. I think it depends on the two individuals involved. But I do think there has to be some kind of clarity involved. Otherwise, one is kind of you can get heartbreak, or one is thinking, oh yeah, I'm dating this guy, and then someone comes and says, well, I saw this guy with someone else. She's heartbroken, and he's saying, well, I never told you we were dating.
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Yeah. So does it make sense then for that person to ask when he says, like, should we go for a drink, or she says, can we?
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Right. So where do you stand?
So for me, I think some of the guys I spend time with and speak to about this kind of stuff, I think there's a context you've got to put in.
Okay.
Is if you're spending time with somebody on the phone, communicating consistently, that's, for me personally, when you have to start asking questions. If there's an attraction, and the level of conversation you're talking about as a Christian is vision, which you normally would do, purpose, about how you see yourself if you're both single, and you start talking about marriage generically, you're talking about kids generically, it's not generic. You're sounding each other out. You're seeing what that person.
You're collecting data.
You're collecting information. So for me, I think when you're at that level of communication, I think there's a level of maturity that has to come, and it has to be like you making a decision. If this data collection or this dialogue you're having with this lady, if it's exclusive for you, you're not on this level of communication with anybody else, you need to set the scene as a guy.
But see, one thing you're raising that's essential is how, you're talking about two people who are having conversations, talking about particular, subjects and areas and content and that kind of thing. Has that become the way forward, i.e. you're spending time, not necessarily physically together, but just talking on the phone, probably messaging, Insta, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to you meet someone, there may be an attraction, there may be not, you might just talk to them, physically, you're in front of each other, and you decide to go for a drink, go for something to eat, and then you talk about those things. Because what you're saying, I think, is it's changing so much, whereby most people are spending far more time communicating from a distance before they actually are in each other's presence. And what is the danger of that? Because the thing is, I think to myself, what if I'm attracted to the way that you sound? I'm attracted to your ideas. I'm attracted to the, all the stuff that we've talked about, and images maybe that I've seen of you on Instagram. Yeah, no plug for Instagram, but whatever, Facebook, whatever. And then when we meet up, there's something about you physically that puts me off or makes me think I can't.
There's a word for that.
What is it?
You don't know? I thought I've been educating you. What's going on? I thought you was catfish.
What's that? Catfish?
I'm sure I got it right. Yeah, so it's like you this profile and you paint a picture of yourself, and then when you face to face, it's like. And then you get the picture up on the phone if you can. Trust me, if I'm wrong.
Where does catfish come from?
I haven't got a clue.
Is that a Jamaican thing?
No, it's not a Jamaican thing. When we finish, ask somebody what catfish means, and I'm sure.
I've never heard of that. that.
that's why I married you, to help you up your game and your kind of relevance to, what's happening nowadays.
Trust me.
So,
Listen,
right,
I've never heard. Right, so no, but that's a thing, right? So that's a thing.
So, yeah.
No, but I'm not. Is it catfish? If I'm not talking about you go on a dating website and you put on one of those, soft lens photos from 40 years ago with the right angles and the right lighting and whatever, and it is you, but it's you a long time ago, and then when you meet up with them, they look completely different. I'm not talking about that. Yeah. I'm just talking about the fact that you're being you. Maybe we're FaceTime, whatever it is, we're talking, we can see each other, but there's something, you got like a limp. And I just think, oh no, I can't deal with that. I can't be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Check out if catfish is right. Correct me, because I'm sure I'm gonna check anyway. But just to.
So hold on, you're imposing something on me.
No,
I'm
quite sure. So anyway, I think because of society, culture, the way that things are at the moment, a lot of dating does take place
online,
outside of the traditional, what we would call dating kind of stuff. Which then again, you lose. If you're on social media or messaging, you lose some aspects of tone, facial expression, all that kind of stuff. But for me, again, I keep saying, if you're having them levels of conversation with somebody, as a guy, and there's no attraction there, and you're a Christian, it's difficult.
Yeah, but those levels of conversation, sometimes they can be almost third party. So what happens is two people are talking, and say we're talking, and I'm saying to you, so what's your views on, dating? What's your views on being with someone who's this? What's your views on cross-cultural relationship? Whatever. What I'm really saying is, how do you feel about the fact that I'm not the same culture as you?
Yeah,
and it comes across as third party, so I'm almost interviewing you.
Which is safety. It's safety, but it's also, I think, guys and girls, you can't be naive. You can't be having this level of communication. If you're talking every day, every other day, even in the morning, you're getting sent scriptures and this, and you're getting built up and that kind of stuff. And for me, stuff like that, it's not alarm bells, but be aware.
Something's happening.
Be aware, come on.
Something's developing.
Come on, and then when you have that conversation, the other person's like, oh no, it's not. No, you knew. So it's difficult, it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy.
It's hard, and I think that has been a change in society, and that is the way it's going. And it is all very much going down the road of social media interaction, isn't it? I think not even so much the dating sites now. It's more Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all of that kind of thing.
And I can only describe it like a tightrope when you're trying to balance, as a guy or a girl, as an individual, your emotions, not investing in something too much, and then finding out that they've invested, that same person has been investing in 5 or 6 different people at the same time. That's what I said to a couple of people that I've met. Is it exclusive? As far as you're concerned, from her perspective, is she having the same level of dialogue with somebody else that she's having with you? If she is that an issue for you? Okay. If it is or isn't, then you like it. Then okay, so where are you at? Are you praying about this?
But this is the kind of stuff that can mess people up.
Oh, 100%.
Like what you shared in which part was it of your journey? Yeah. When you shared about, I think it was part 1 actually. The first girlfriend who.
Oh yeah. That's cool. We can go there. See, itching my neck now. That's a sign, isn't it?
That's like where's she going with this?
The emotions.
But that's the kind of stuff that you're invested in someone, like you said, and then you discover that person is also invested in 5 other people at the same time, and they're having these deep conversations with 5 other people at the same time. You don't feel that you can say to the person, well, are we exclusive? Do you remember when we first started dating? We were already dating, but it was really, really early stage. And I remember you saying to me, I was sitting in my front room at the time, I was on the phone to you, and you said to me, what's your favourite movie? And instantly I said, The Wedding Planner. And I just thought, oh my God, no, I'm not dropping hints. I'm not saying I want to get married. Because obviously my background is events management, and I love that movie.
Okay.
Don't try. I love that movie because of the planning element. As soon as the movie starts, you're showing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Is showing her organising and all that kind of thing. That's why I love the movie.
So
but then when I said it, as it came out of my mouth, I'm thinking, he's going to think I'm just wanting to tie him down and I'm talking wedding already. And
how long in the relationship was this when we were chatting?
Really early. Okay. Really early stages. Probably like weeks.
So it was accident that you said that?
No, I do love that movie.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But I just didn't, as it came out of my mouth, I didn't realise how you might receive it. Like a hint, and that's what I'm saying is people might feel like they can't say, well look, I like you and I want us to just.
You can't. That's dangerous.
So, but it's more dangerous to not say it, and then you find that actually what you thought was something special you're talking with this person on
Well,
a
I
nightly
suppose-
basis or whatever,
and I suppose,
they're also
yeah.
talking to someone else.
But that's where I think maybe guys that I've spoken to in general will say that girls of their generation play games because there's not that clarity. So how again? It's like
How do you get the clarity? Because I think in general, and guys' comments, correct me if I'm wrong, in general, I feel as though women tend to be the ones that want to not settle down soon, I'm not saying that, but they will see dating, if they spent time with a guy,
Yeah.
they're more likely to see it as, okay, I'm seeing someone.
Yeah.
Whereas guys might be more like, yeah, we went for drinks or whatever, but I'm just exploring my options. And that's not hard and fast, because I don't like to categorise men are this and women are that,
No,
that's the end
because
of
the
it.
stuff that
But there is a generalisation
Yeah,
there.
even more recently, some of the dating, some of the experiences that guys have shared about them meeting people
Yeah.
are way off radar than what I would call dating.
What do you mean way off radar?
I think, like again, spending time going for drinks, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and some of the situations they found themselves in, not compromising per se.
As it's gone too far.
Yeah, I just think stuff. I'm thinking, hold on, what? And
Wait, let's not be vague. What are we talking about here? That kissing, sex?
no.
No, but kissing or being
Just
physical.
but they're not dating. That go into a stage or a level of dialogue or physical contact, and you're not dating. And I'm like,
Right.
not dating, okay, but you're physical.
But does she think they're dating? This is the thing.
Probably not. No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
So you think they're both quite aware?
Yeah, and I think, but it seems like it's the norm. It seems like, not in some settings, but from what I'm hearing more and more, it's like that's what you do. That's what you
So
do.
okay, so if that's what's happening, not saying everybody's doing that,
Yeah.
but if that's what's happening, we're not sure on the whole, like, no one's really saying, are we dating? They're definitely not saying, would you be my boyfriend or
Right.
girlfriend?
Okay.
If that's the case, we're now looking at relationships where people are coming into when they do find the one,
Yeah.
and they're coming into a relationship, and now this person's coming with a load of
It's not
baggage, a load
but is
of,
it- but often-
and how do, part two of that question
Yeah.
is how do you, a guy, a female, feel knowing that the person that you're now getting into a relationship with has got potentially quite a few, like a trail.
But I don't know if it's a standard thing. I don't know if it's an isolated incident. For me, I think there's two things for me massively. I think maturity
Yeah.
is a key area, and I think as a guy or a girl, man or woman, that's better.
Yeah.
How you carry yourself.
Yeah.
So I think I could even now look at single women in the church,
Yeah.
younger women and that kind of stuff, or only women in church, and have a perception that if I was going to match her with somebody or him with somebody, that person would have to be at a certain stage in life and at a certain level, because the way they carry themselves, the way they profile, don't be coming to approach me if you're not serious about life or you're not serious about pursuing a serious relationship. And it starts with, let's go for a drink, whatever, but I think in a church setting, you can do all of that social getting to know you stuff in a group setting or with people around.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm saying to you, right, I want to meet you on a one-to-one,
Yeah.
I'm automatically letting you know, right, I'm looking to take this to another level.
Yeah, I think so.
And for me, that's when you're at that starting point of dating. For me, and I'm extreme. I think I'm extreme.
Now you are.
Now I am. So for me, if a guy is saying to a girl, or vice versa, are you free? Let's grab something. Let's grab a coffee. Let's grab something to eat. What are you doing next week? Let's go cinema. You're saying, right, you know what? The social element and having you in a group setting is a distraction, isn't enough.
Yeah,
What I'm saying to you now, I want one-on-one
focus
time where it's just me and you. That's like saying, hey, yo.
No.
You know what I mean?
You wouldn't say, hey, yo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I say that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
So I think that's where the defining line is. And I think that's blurred now. Kind of thing, when people will just socially. And the thing is, should we go into even that question? This is going to be another video which we'll do at a later stage, as in, can men and women be friends?
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. No, we have to go there, but it is a big one. We can't go there now. No. That's a whole other.
And how do you define that and all that stuff that comes with that? Again, if you're going to comment on it, just put men and women friends, yes or no. And of course, it's not a black and white as that, but I'd be interested to hear what people's view are.
I think it's important that we do cover that one. I think with this one, you can't really conclude it because every person is different, but I think a lot of what you said is right. Society has changed, and it isn't, I think the last bit that you said where, if a guy then says, right, I'm going to pull you out of the crowd, maybe that's a phrase, I want to pull you out of the crowd, I want to spend one-on-one time with you now, but the message that gives to the person, whether it's the female says it, or the male that says it, because that's another thing. Is it okay for the female to say that? What would the guy think?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
If you're saying I want to pull you out of the crowd,
But
A, I've noticed you. B, I want to spend time on my own with you to get to know you more.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes come under the umbrella and the mask of something else.
Yeah, but I think, okay, so then there's two things that, even from what you've said and what I've said, that may not be current for the younger generation culture. Putting someone out of the crowd and dating.
Yeah.
So I think the word dating comes with so much.
But this is what I'm saying. I think the word dating is being dissolved now.
But it doesn't need to be that, because if obviously there's other terms that will probably be less desirable, like we're going to link up.
Yeah, but from what I understand, linking is like there's no commitment. We're not in a relationship, but we're going to be doing some physical stuff.
No. See, that's the thing. See,
that's what it means to me.
See, but to me, that linking means we're just going to link up. We're just going to just catch up.
Yeah, but if you say to me, yeah, let's just link up, I feel like you're saying there's no commitment here.
It's not just link up. Let's link. I want to spend some time together. Let's
just the word link.
See, that's
to me.
It's okay. It's just.
Yeah, that word to me says.
Let it go.
Frozen. That word to me says.
So then we link.
Yeah, no, I'm better than that.
Did we link up?
No, we didn't link.
When we went for our first date or time together.
No, because our first time together, we'd already had the conversation that we were friends and we wanted to be more than that. Remember when we spoke on the Friday after we did the event? Yeah. So we'd already had that conversation.
That was a link, isn't it?
Yeah, but I would have. It's either I'm linking you as a friend, but we already knew that our feelings were getting involved, and it was more than that. And we talked about that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like now that is being lost. Like that conversation. Like, so what's happening here?
Yeah.
Which can make one or the other run a mile.
Yeah.
If you're not both at the same place.
Yeah.
But this is why. Can you leave it in the hands of self? Or how much does God have to be involved? Because if you had said that to me in the normal church setting a year before, I probably would have flexed my neck at you like, how you even step into me? I don't know you. But at the right timing, when God revealed us to each other, then it was right, and yes, I was prepared to spend time with you. But
so I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to don't need the detail.
I have to give detail.
Not too much detail, just a basic question.
All right, somewhere in the middle.
20-year-old guy, 20-year-old lady, in church together, in the same circles. There's an attraction there. Sense of humor is the same. How would they progress their relationship to the point where they are dating? What would be? Give me quick fire.
Where they are dating, or where they're pulling each other out the crowd.
Same thing, isn't it?
I don't know if it is. That's the
All
thing.
Right, when they go for a coffee on a one-to-one. Let's do basic of that. Coffee on a one-to-one, not coffee in public. A coffee where it's at work or at lunchtime. Just a coffee together to spend time together. How do they progress that
How do they make that happen?
Yeah.
I think it is because more than likely, if they're 20, they're going to be on social media or on WhatsApp or whatever. Yeah. And then it's really like, do you want to grab a coffee?
Okay.
Or are you busy? Are you up for grab some lunch or grab a coffee?
Right.
Or whatever.
So in that context, is that a date in your thing?
For me,
I
don't know if I would call it a date, but I would say if I'm going to spend one-on-one time with you and you alone, this is more now than you just being one of the people at church.
Okay.
Because what I wouldn't do is do a coffee with you, and then I'm doing a coffee with Joe, and then I'm doing a coffee with Jacob, or I'm doing a coffee with Steve. I'm not.
Okay, that's you as an individual.
Me as an individual, I wouldn't, because I would feel like if I'm doing coffee with you, or I'm spending one-on-one time with you, then I'm exploring where this could go, and it may go nowhere. After that coffee, I may decide we're not doing this again.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
So now.
And then that has to finish.
Okay.
Yeah. Now someone else
Right.
after a period of time.
Okay.
Not next week.
Not next week.
Then next
Tomorrow,
week and next
today.
one.
No?
Are you mad?
Okay, alright, then so my next question
Because I
then
always go on.
is, can two friends, 20 in church, same scenario, friends go for a coffee? Is there a difference? Is there a difference?
Well, now we're seeping into the can men and females be friends.
Okay.
There is a difference, but what I find generally is that two people, male and male, female and female, whatever, friendships, there's always something that attracts you. It doesn't have to be a physical or sexual, whatever attraction.
Yeah.
There's always something that attracts you to somebody else that causes you to be friends. And there's always that person, you can't stand them. Everyone else loves them, but you can't stand them. But there's two people drawn together because there's something in your character and your personality that you find attractive, not physically or romantically, but attractive. So you both have the same interest in something. You both speak the same language, you have the same background, the culture, whatever it is, yeah? That draws two people. Now that can remain like that for the rest of your lives, or it can develop into something more.
Okay. So
and that's the thing. Now the problem is if it develops in one of you and not the other.
Yeah, which happens quite a lot.
And doesn't get revealed. So he likes her. He's too scared to lose the friendship. Yeah. But he's too scared to ask in case she doesn't feel the same way. So he never asks. And they keep being friends, until she starts dating someone else.
But I think guys,
and he might fall away.
I think guys are kind of, not built, but I think a lot of guys are in that scenario.
Yeah.
And if that person does go on to date somebody, they'll just call. They're just like, okay, cool, you know what, that's not for me.
But is it cool or is it heartbreak from within
that
nobody ever knows?
No.
You don't like that word, do you? Heartbreak?
No, I won't say heartbreak.
Heart affected?
No.
Impacted?
Just keep it moving, innit?
But you know, for you, but for some people, they could be secretly in love with that person and spending time with them, thinking it's going somewhere, too scared to step out and say, look, my feelings.
It's like hopscotch. It's a gamble, right? It's a gamble.
It is a gamble because the thing is, you've got to remember your experience and my experiences were so different to other people's experience, as in individually. Yeah. And so, where you didn't necessarily struggle to meet people, and you didn't necessarily struggle. Like you said, you weren't super confident and would step to any girl, but you had, probably 30% of game. Not a whole heap, but you had a little bit, yeah. 30%. Enough to get you by. You had enough game to get you by.
30%.
Yeah. And when you met me, I gave you a bit more, but do you know what I mean? So. But do you see what I mean? So when people who don't have that confidence may never reveal that they like that person.
This is what we're gonna do.
What we're gonna plan? What's your plan?
We're gonna do a survey.
Okay.
Not ask for comments or anything like that, but we're going to do a survey. We're going to do some research about this dating stuff. Like proper within our circle, people that we know, all different generations. And we're going to come back and do another video about the findings. Yeah, we can do that. Because I want to kind of break this down. I want to kind of get to not a definitive answer, because it's going to be different for different people, but I want to just, because we're talking about what experience that we've had, people we've spoke to, quite a lot of people, but I want to let's do a proper survey and get some feedback from people. I just wonder whether, with a lot of surveys you get maybe yes, no and maybe. I think this is so broad and so still do it. Yeah, but we'll do black and white questions, some couple of grey areas, and just come up with a finding and we can then discuss that. Yeah. We might even invite somebody to come and join us. Maybe. And kind of comment on it and talk about it from their perspective as well. Because obviously we're experiences. Yeah, but I think that's what I want to do. But I think a big part that we shouldn't leave this off the video is around the whole boundaries thing. And what's your standard? Like for me, my standard that I set for myself, because of past experiences and because of things that had been said to me and about me, I set a standard that I would not be seen with a different guy coffee there, coffee there. That was something I set for myself. Yeah. So before, if you said to me, should we go for coffee? I would have to seriously consider whether I wanted to do that based on what I already know of you in the social setting amongst other people, because I didn't want to tarnish my name by being seen out for coffee with this one and then out for coffee with that one, and then by the time the one that I really want comes along, you're the one that goes for coffee with everybody. But I suppose we bust jokes about game and that kind of stuff, but I would say, if that was even for me, how can I say this without sounding like, alright. Don't care what people think? No, not that. It's that if I'm getting to the stage where I want to ask you if I want to ask you, I already done my groundwork. I know from our dialogue, from our communication, you ain't saying no. That's not arrogance. That's the kind of level of discussion that we're having. Before the coffee, there's going to be some dialogue. There's going to be some right. So it's like a given. That makes sense. Yeah, come on, bro. I'm just talking about for myself because my game was out.
Oh, stop the game.
I'm just saying, just in general, before I step out that level, I know that this what we're having and what from both ways, our dialogue and communication and time isn't enough. That it's got to go a step further. And again,
what if you're not both at the same? Like you say, for example, we'll use ourselves as an example, but we're in an environment and there's a group, whether it's in a work environment, church environment, whatever. We're in a group and you've noticed me and you've observed me and you've seen me in different, whether I'm doing a presentation, whether I'm, whatever it is, you're working with young children, whatever, you've observed. I haven't necessarily observed you. So where you say it's a given, you're thinking, well, I know I want to spend more time with this woman, but I haven't noticed you like that. And so I might say, well, no, because I don't, no, not for now, because not because you're not my type or whatever, but I haven't been checking you out like that.
But then I suppose that's circumstantial, isn't it? Because for example, with some people, men and women, that will just see somebody they like and straight approach them and be like, hi, how you doing, blah, blah, start a dialogue there, and that's where it starts. Where some people, it's just familiar, surrounded introductions or circle of friends or at an event, kind of humour, laugh, whatever. Then it's that level of, okay, right, I'm not on Facebook, but do you tag each other on Facebook or communication that way? Start just kind of being, so then if you're on that level of conversation, you're like, okay, what are you on next week? What are you up to next week? Okay, this. Okay, right. Then it's that kind of, okay, what are you up to? There's an interest there. Okay, yeah, I've got this. Oh, wow, okay, blah, blah. Then it's like, okay, look, I'm free next week. You're about. Let's grab something to eat. That's where it's a natural. So I would know from the dialogue that we're having whether this is not a green light, but whether it's a friendship, whether there's an attraction there. You're doing your research.
But what you find, I think, is that a male thing, because as women, what we can sometimes find is that we're just going about our business, and then this man who potentially has been observing for weeks, months, whatever, then approaches and says, would you like to go for a coffee?
Just out the blue?
It's the first time I've seen you. No, but you've seen me from time, like, especially if you're in a big setting, like a workplace or a gym. Do you know what I mean? And you've been observing me on the treadmill from behind for weeks. I've not even seen that you're there. I've got my headphones in, I don't even know. And then you come and approach me and say, look, how do you feel about coming? I'm thinking, who are you?
But that's the difference where we're talking about from a church setting. I'm talking about, my mindset is thinking of in a church.
Yeah, but we can't forget that a lot of the examples you've given are people maybe in their 20s, in a younger group, big social groups, the groups that go for something to eat after church, the groups that are in youth groups together or in leadership in a certain ministry together. What about those 30, 40, 50, 60 somethings who not necessarily, not necessarily at that stage where they would be hanging out in groups of people? It may be a one-off thing. It might be someone on a train that approaches you. You don't have that background of seeing someone.
It
happens. You bump into someone. They might get the same train as you or whatever, in the morning or whatever. But you've not necessarily observed them, and they approach you and say, "Look, I've noticed you. How would you feel about spending some time? Or I've got a ticket for this." Or I don't know. There's so many scenarios.
So that's why it's a difficult topic. That's why I want to do my research and come up with some evidence. Obviously, it'll be a limited pool of. But just to get a reference point for people from different ages and see what their general views are.
Because although we're saying society has changed, and it has, I agree, and the way people meet each other, all that has changed, there'll be those who are still of a certain age group who are still operating very much like, you need to ask me to be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be the older generations as well, but they may not be in that new side where it's all about social media. It's all about
maybe some of the younger guys. Even some of the younger guys. I think some of the way they profile. I'm like, if you're meeting somebody, you just communicate with somebody, or you're in social media, and then they feel like, this is me. Some of the guys are just like, you know what, I'm not messing around. Look, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm thinking.
And that's a good point. I
love that.
I think we can sort of almost wrap up on this point. The good thing is. The thing is, there are some people who are out there wanting to date, of their own agenda.
Yeah.
So they're not being, there's no revelation of the person, there's nothing, they just leave their house in the morning, I'm going to find somebody today, or they go intentionally to events and to places where you could meet someone.
I respect that.
You know, because I respect that more than those who sit in their front room hoping for their husband or have to knock on the front door, because that's quite unlikely. It does happen, you know, sometimes you're a postman, but I think there has to be a medium somewhere, because if you go out with the intention of meeting somebody, you will just find whoever is remotely attracted to you and just approach them. But there's not.
That's where. But then how do you find out? Again, when you're in it as a Christian, when you meet somebody and you decide you're gonna go, you can then pray about it. You can then, obviously, I'm guessing you're praying beforehand anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're prayerful about direction and what you're doing with your life and you're intentional and you're serious about this thing, you're not like on a joke thing.
Yeah.
You're serious. I feel like God can still lead you because you're pushing doors.
You can do. I think it depends on the individual.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's why I love spending time with guys that are at different stages.
Yeah.
That are single, to not school them. Yeah. Just share some of the experience and have that sounding board. Some of the guys I spend time with sounding board, are literally like, right, she said this is where I'm at. What do you think? I'm like, no, she's playing games or and I love that. That's why I think I really enjoy spending time with people. I
have to say I do prefer to be around someone who knows where they're at and what they want, and they want to be in a relationship and married and leading towards marriage, rather than those who want it and say, oh no, I'm fine as I am. When really deep down they're yearning for someone to share their life with. I much prefer someone who can honestly say, I was that person who would constantly deny until someone said to me, stop declaring that with your mouth. Stop saying, I'm fine, I don't need anybody, when deep down you really do.
And then you found him.
And then, well, God found you, sorted you out, straightened you up, wiped you clean.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then presented you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then I had to do the rest of the work.
What work? It's finished. It's done now, isn't it?
Yeah,
alright, I think it's a good start. Again, we have to rephrase our intros to the videos. Welcome to our conversation. Like that, innit? That sounds quite good. Because that's what we're doing. I think it's kind of having a conversation about it. And interesting. So we will do another video on this.
I think we have to.
We'll have to be, definitely. And I think it's interesting. So again, any questions or anything like that, please send them up. Yeah,
let us know what you think, because this is a subject, I think it's so broad. It could go on for ages. Let us know what you think, what you want to have discussed, whether you want us to bring people in to have that discussion, people who are in their singleness, people who are dating, and how that happens.
Because there's something like, do I pay, does she pay?
Oh yeah,
if
that
she
whole
pays,
split
is
the
she
bill.
trying to do that whole thing? If she assumes that I'm going to pay. I think, there's a program that was on, like about a few months ago, I can't remember what it's called, First Date. I saw something on social media about it, like on the Google, and there was this big hoo-ha because the woman expected the guy to pay. It was like a big thing.
Many do.
Yeah. So,
and I'll be honest, on a first date, if the bill came, you pushed it over to me.
Yeah.
There won't be no second date.
Okay.
I tell you, if I offer and you say, okay, if you're happy to, whatever. But I just think I'm quite traditionalist, and
so if it's £30 and the guy pulls out £15 and put the table like that, say cool.
That would leave let's say an etch in my mind. I'd be thinking.
Okay, alright.
And it would give me, I guess it would give me a picture of my future.
Maybe it's testing the water to see.
Maybe.
Okay, so
maybe.
Thank you for listening and joining us. The next video will be out soon. We'll hopefully have some data. If not, we'll be continuing this conversation, but we will 100% do this survey and get some information and see where we go from there.
Yeah. So, but we need your help with that. So give us some feedback and
share again. Like I'm getting into this stuff now. Share the video if you liked it and you think, I got something from it. Share it. Subscribe. Do what you got to do. Just get the message out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So until next time, over and out.
Captain.